Let me know. I'm just curious. Like Michael Jordan, but Anthony Davis. Anyways, how y'all doing? Everyone feeling good? I am ready as you are, so you let me know. With me. So, if you are new to the show, I am Louisa Duran. I am your host of GetViral. And if you don't know what GetViral is, we are a show that basically brings you the hottest, most viralist, most tweetiest tweets, Instagram posts, Facebook stories of the week. Sometimes funny, possibly relevant, hopefully always entertaining. And you can actually become part of the live experience. So you can watch us on Facebook or Twitter. You can go ahead and click the link that just got posted. And you can actually come on over to Get Vocal, watch the show live, and if you raise your hand or grab a spot, I can bring you on. So we're about to get into it. I am super amped. So today's very, very first topic. So I'm a sports nerd. This one is huge to me. It's our main story, and I don't know if y'all have been paying attention, but there have been some recent changes in the laws for student athletes in California. So as you can see, Draymond posted, "Thank you to California Governor Gavin Newsom for his leadership signing the bill protecting college athletes and bringing more equality to the multi-billion-dollar industry." So if you don't know what he's talking about, basically, Gavin Newsom, I'm in California, so he's my governor, signed a bill which actually allows college athletes to be able to hire agents and actually make money from endorsements, and for the first time ever, have ownership over their own name and likeness, which is huge. And so LeBron chimed in, and I will also say this is like a fun little tidbit. So LeBron has actually been behind this for a long time. And Gavin Newsom actually signed the bill on his show, which this is where this picture is from. If y'all don't watch his show, it's called The Shop on HBO. It's kind of amazing. So he said, "I'm so incredibly proud to share this moment with all of you. Gavin Newsom came to the shop to do something that will change the lives for countless athletes who deserve it." Was hosted or uninterrupted, hosted the formal signing, and that is what this picture is of. So prior to this law, student athletes literally could not be paid beyond the cost of tuition. So they had their books, their tuition, sometimes their on-campus housing covered, but other than that, they got nothing. So they could actually even be penalized for basics like accepting a meal from somebody, but they couldn't actually make any money off of their own abilities, skills, name, jerseys, whatever. So this law doesn't actually go into effect until 2023. And naturally, there's already a lot of conversations happening about how this is going to change the policy nationwide. Also, there's a conversation about how this is going to affect recruiting because so many people are going to want to play in California now because they can start making money off of themselves to begin with. Now, I'm just a sports junkie. I grew up in sports. I'm a sports nerd. So I thought the smartest thing to do was to bring on my brother from another. He's a very special guest. His name is Laron McCoy. I call him Dutch. He is a former college athlete, retired NFL player, and retired agent. So, Dutchy, if you're on, can you go ahead and grab a spot? We'll give him a second to join us. Oh.
What's up?
You're sideways, dude.
Am I?
Turn your iPad around.
Let me get this right.
Come on now. You're making the family look bad. Oh, we lost him. He'll be back. It's okay. He was really good at football. He doesn't have to be good at technology. We'll give him a second. Did we lose him entirely? I hope not. Because he's probably uniquely positioned to be able to have this conversation with us. Ready? There we go. There's my guy.
All right.
How you doing, fam?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry, what hat are you wearing? What's going on?
Seattle. I'm surprised you didn't talk about this beard thing I got going on.
I was going to, but now is not the time or the place.
Okay. Yeah, it's new for me. So
So yeah,
I
this
figured
is
I would
very
audition it on your show. I would, break it out here.
okay. Well, the people can let you know. I'm a fan, but
I appreciate that.
okay, so I need you to talk through some points for us, right?
Okay.
Because you're uniquely positioned. You've been an athlete under like in college. You've done the pro thing. You've also done the like recruiting scout kind of agent thing.
Yes.
Right. So as a college athlete, how does this impact college athletes? Like overall,
I'm sorry.
what does
Say
this
that
mean for college
again.
athletes? What does this mean for college athletes overall?
I mean, I think it's huge. I think that I don't think the rule is going to stay the way it is currently. Just like any other bill that's passed, there's always going to be some evolution that goes toward it. But I think what this is the government is recognizing that the status quo is wrong. That the unpaid labor of $1 billion industry is incorrect. I personally think that it's long overdue, as many other athletes do. I
Mm-hmm.
think it needs some tinkering, obviously, but I think it's a step in the right direction. And just it reminds me of marijuana so much because California is always kind of like on the cutting edge. And so
Right.
they're bold enough to take the step forward. And with that being said, the other countries, the other states have to fall in line. I
I mean,
mean,
we do feel like another country. So
that's cool. That's cool for the Bay. The Bay can be its own country for sure. I'm totally okay with that. But the rest of the country will fall in line just because
yeah.
California sports are so important to the scene of the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
They've made some threats about breaking off, but that would never happen. You can't exclude great institutions like Stanford and Cal and UCLA and USC, etc.
Right. So talk to me about that because to me, when I first read this, I was like, yo, the NCAA has to be shook, right? Like they must not be happy.
Well, I mean, they're spending millions of dollars to lobby against this. I mean, and what they're doing is they're preying on people's uh, just people not knowing what's going on, their ignorance, and they're also preying on that. They're tugging on your heartstrings a little bit, like, oh, this is going to ruin the sport, ruin the amateurism of everything, and it's going to make it more like the NBA and the NFL. And those players only play for money, and they don't play for the love. And I mean, with that being said, there are certain people that don't know the ins and outs of the sport that feel like, oh man, they're right. It will change things. But honestly, I don't think it'll be that way at all. Especially the way this current bill is written.
Right. Right. So, I mean, how do you see this changing? Like you said, some tinkering needs to be done because we're going to keep talking about this. So maybe we'll have you on again because this is obviously it's going to evolve. Other states are going to fall in line. How do you see this potentially changing? And if you had to say, right, again, having been through all the stages, college athlete, pro, agent status, how would you change it personally?
Okay, well, I mean, I have kudos to the governor. I think that I tip my hat to him. I think it's excellent that he's taken the step, the initiative, and being bold enough to do what so many others before him are scared to do. I will say this: I do see a lot of holes, and primarily a couple holes I'll point out to you. One is the disparity amongst athletes in the actual institution. So, me being, let's say, I am the star basketball point guard and the NCAA tournaments coming up, the amount of endorsements that I may receive for the largest watched sporting event in the NCAA could be huge. I mean, there's millions of dollars at stake there for that young man. However, the champion of her lacrosse team might not receive the same amount of funds. So you have to kind of figure out that loophole. You don't want it to seem like everyone's getting his salary, but you do have to find like the right way to go about it. I think that it is very, very, very good for women athletes. I think it actually it improves their quality of life more than anything. If you look at any other scholarship students, let's say you're an art student and you're on scholarship, you can sell your artwork. If you're on scholarship for something else, you're allowed to sell your likeness or your ability. But student athletes have not been able to do this to this point. So if you look at like a woman athlete, they all, they're crying for equal pay right now just because they've been underappreciated for so long.
Right.
So what this does, it gives them a chance to basically sell their likeness. I mean, if you're like a swimming champion, you can have a class that teaches young children to swim. Or if
Right.
you're a b-ball player as a woman, you can have b-ball camps. Camps make a lot of money.
They make a
You're able to
lot of
sell,
money.
as a person like Skylar Diggins or one of the more
Yep.
popular UConn basketball players, if we were talking about California, they will be able to sell that likeness and sell tickets to said event. And with that being said, you find yourself in a situation where this young lady is now making money. So it does help there, but there are some holes in it. I think that as a sports agent, when I recruited big time athletes and I recruited some of the larger athletes out there was always the threat of someone doing it the wrong way. Meaning a shady character coming in and saying, here's $100,000, sign with my company. And then the young man being in a bad position, he signs with that guy, not because of that gentleman's merit, but because of what he's done for him. Even though that is a small investment of what that player is eventually going to make the agent. Right. So my biggest problem is that if you're a player in California and you're now able to receive funds, I would hate for the wrong guy to use it as a loophole to put money in your pocket, right, and then get you to sign with him and his institution, make him millions of dollars for his small investment. I mean, it's a shady way for guys to get money, and it's happened in the state of California a lot, like everywhere. I don't want to single out California.
I mean, but USC alone every year gets in trouble.
I will say, look at you. You're talking about USA, but Reggie Bush is a great example where
perfect example.
I think that there were a lot of people around Reggie accepting gifts and things where Reggie may not have been accepting them personally, but his family was.
Right.
And that in turn had him give back his Heisman Trophy.
Heisman Trophy.
He was excluded from being on campus until this year where he went there to work for Fox.
Right.
So my point being is I think you have to really police it really well. You're going to have to be on your
P's and Q's.
P's and Q's, yeah, just because these guys find ways to get money to the athletes. They get it in their hand, they get it in an uncle's hand or a coach's hand or someone that is close to the situation and they like to navigate.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But overall, it's huge, though. I think it's huge for women. And the funny thing is, like, there are other politicians in other states that are actually petitioning for this same type of rule change. In Connecticut, I know that one of their senators is going after it, and also in North Carolina, which would be huge if you think about North Carolina.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Between the Tar Heels and between the Duke Blue Devils.
Exactly.
I mean, if you just think about what Zion Williamson did for Duke, not what he did for Duke, but just how much attention he brought to that school.
Yeah.
And the state of North Carolina has that repeatedly every year.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the level of Zion, but I mean, those two schools keep a top 5 pick in the NBA
every year. Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure a place like in football, the 3 largest states are Florida, California, and Texas.
Really? Not Alabama?
No, not at all. They're like top maybe 6.
I would have said Alabama, Texas, and Florida. Because, to Liz's point, when I think of football, I think of like cornbread Southern boys.
Okay, what you got to think of first is you want to think of a place where people can play football all year round. So in Pennsylvania, you know, when it gets too cold, the guys aren't really trying to play. But when you're in California and Texas and Florida, you can literally practice your craft all year round.
Year-round, yeah.
Basketball, you can be in a gym all the time.
Right.
So those are the 3, and there are 3 of the larger states in the country.
Right.
You know, so that helps too. So yes, their schools produce the most NFL players. So if I am a school in Texas, if I'm a school in Florida, I don't want to start losing guys to California. I am then going to get my alumni behind me to make sure that we're putting our money behind the right candidate that will lobby for this same type of rule. So change is definitely coming.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that this sets a wild precedent for every other state to have to follow suit, because if they're going to want to continue to compete, I mean, short of, you know, changing the way that we currently have like Pac-12 and, you know what I mean, like Big East and things like that, short of like reconfiguring like competitive levels, everyone just has to get on the same page. Gisela asked, how quickly do you imagine this will take?
Does she mean for countrywide or the actual legislation? That goes ahead in 2023.
Yeah, no, so I think she means country. Yeah, states, like all the other states kind of following suit.
Well, I mean, it's gonna take a while. If you look at the marijuana thing, which I keep likening it to, it's like state by state. You
Yeah.
know, you gain traction. I think the NCAA has enough money and enough good old boys
Yeah.
that have backed that they're gonna fight. They're gonna dig in and fight. Anytime you want to lighten a billionaire or a millionaire's pockets, he's gonna dig his heels in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have some of that, but I think that eventually, I'll give it 10 years. 10 years. I think that.
So it's nationwide.
Yeah, it's been constantly changing. There was a video game in 2014. It was NCAA football. No,
Okay.
seriously, and it was NCAA basketball. Do you know how you guys Madden,
Yeah.
or 2K?
Yeah.
Well, they had that in college, and like everybody played it. We played it all day long. And when you were like a college player, you literally could find yourself at your university and play, on the game. So what happened was Ed O'Bannon, a UCLA basketball player, he actually sued the NCAA because he was like, hey.
Oh, I remember this.
Right. Well, he's still in court.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping, a lot of people are like, hey, I love that damn video game. Like, bring that back. So if we get this passed, I mean, obviously.
Right. At least California players there could be like an NCAA California version because then they can pay them for their likeness.
Yeah. Yeah. But I really think
you are about this.
To go forward without other states backing it. It's just because I do think it creates a competitive disadvantage for other teams. I do think that.
Right.
Right. I mean, if I'm a player, I would rather go to UCLA or USC or Cal instead of.
How dare you?
Instead of another university where I'm not being able to make money for my likeness.
You really just for the Bears. For those watching, I am a Cal alumni. That shot was specifically for me. I mean, listen, Cal's a great school. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on. That was I just knew you'd have all the answers. This is
I like to watch though.
So, what do you say?
I like to watch. I don't have all the answers.
Well, you have more answers than I do. Like, you're tuned in. But yeah, this is definitely going to keep unfolding. You'll have to come back for sure.
I would love to.
Dope. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'll call you later.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, fam.
All right. I'll talk.
Bye. All right, y'all. Yeah, I'm kind of still spinning. I feel like I could have sat there and talked about that for like an hour. But we'll definitely bring it back. We'll be talking about it some more. Yeah, that was dope, right? I'm just really blessed to know some really cool people. But yeah, I'll make him come back. That's like my big brother. He doesn't have a choice. Plus, he'd support me in anything. So, moving on though. So our next topic, I don't know how many of y'all are like Marvel comic book nerds. I for sure am. So Marvel movies, like, some people hate them, right? I love them. And there isn't a gray area. Like, you live on one side or the other. And this week, Martin Scorsese pretty clearly and firmly publicly put himself in the I hate them category. So if y'all don't know who he is, he's a super famous cinematographer. Obviously, y'all can look him up, but he did in fact publicly diss Marvel movies in Esquire. And he said, I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. So Scorsese goes on to actually compare like these super high budget, well-made, highly successful movies to amusement parks I'm still just like a little offended because there's my favorite, the Hulk. That's my guy. We'll talk about him again in a second. But anyways, so he said they're like amusement parks, and like he acknowledges like, okay, they're well made. He kind of tried to fix it, and he was like, well, they aren't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being, which I don't agree with, but that's another conversation. But this high-minded, like super high-level, evolved take sparked controversy among a whole bunch of actors who have actually been involved in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which us comic book nerds call MCU. So Samuel L. Jackson, who has played Nick Fury, has said, I mean, that's like saying Bugs Bunny ain't funny. Films are films. Everybody doesn't like his stuff either. Everybody's got an opinion. So, I mean, it's okay. Ain't going to stop nobody from making movies. Right. To each their own. And then during an interview with Howard Stern, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man himself, also chimed in. And he said, in his view, these genre movies degenerated the art form of cinema. When you come in like a stomping beast and you eliminate the competition in such a demonstrative way, it's phenomenal. So clearly, I am on the side of Iron Man and Nick Fury. I agree. But in a slightly sad turn of events, MCU director James Gunn, so he is one of the directors for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he responded to Scorsese's super low-key shady comment with this: Martin Scorsese is one of 5 favorite living filmmakers. I was outraged when people picketed The Last Temptation of Christ without having seen the film. I'm saddened that he's now judging my films in the same way. So obviously, he didn't judge Scorsese's film without seeing it first, and he's basically asking Scorsese for the same courtesy. So I don't know. First of all, what do y'all think? Are you lovers of MCU? Are you haters of MCU? Is it not really your brand of film? Also totally okay. But is Scorsese right? Is he not right? Is he grumpy? Is he mad that his movies aren't making money and Marvel is? I feel like that's what it is. But y'all tell me. They're fun to watch, but Scorsese has a point. Hold on. Right. It's a film versus a movie. That's my point. I do think he's grumpy. I also, though, would disagree. I feel like there are definitely MCU movies that are fully capable of causing you to have a very human reaction. When, spoiler alert, y'all, when Iron Man died, I full cried. I was upset. Okay. And I'm not going to hide it. I love him, and he died, and I was upset. So that was a human emotion that this MCU film evoked out of me. But I also think that we have to leave space for different versions of things, right? Like, you can't always just be like super heavy and super serious and like next level, upper echelon evolved, emotional, like film cinematography. Like, sometimes you just want to laugh and like let a thing be ridiculous or like just have fun. I don't know. That's just me. Y'all feel free to like chime in the comments. I can't be the only one that feels like that. I don't think so. Or maybe I am. And I'm also okay with that. I'm not taking it back. But we're going to move on to hot takes. So hot takes are Martinez. So Anthony Davis, he is grumpy and judgmental. No one has the right to say one movie genre is better than the other. You have to be open-minded when it comes to movie making. Exactly. Like with all things, right? Appreciate that, Anthony. Thank you. So hot takes, this is a new kind of like segment-ish thing. We'll probably do it pretty often. And basically, it's like the internet just blew up over something. So we have a couple. So the very first one, I don't know if y'all have seen this, but Ellen DeGeneres was seen sitting with George W. Bush at a baseball game. This has gone viral. And usually Twitter like rocks with Ellen. They side with her. They're like all about her. Not this time. So Ellen sat with former US president at a football game, and Twitter called her all the way out for buddying up with him, despite being a really outspoken liberal and openly gay woman. So this is the picture of them sitting at a baseball game next to each other. Now, in my opinion, this is not actually where the issue is. Like, sometimes you just end up sitting next to whoever you sit next to, right? Especially if you have a lot of money and you're in a luxury box. I mean, hello, right? Anyways, so this is where the issue arose, and this is why Twitter came for her. Ellen actually doubled down and defended her like hanging out with him First of all, by saying that they're friends, and also by using her super famous "be kind to one another" tagline. So her excuse or her justification was, you have to be kind to people. Mark Ruffalo, who's the Hulk, who I told you I love, was definitely not feeling it. And then he came for her soul via this tweet. So he said, sorry, until George W. Bush is brought to justice for the crimes of the Iraq War, including American-led torture, Iraqi deaths and displacement, and the deep scars, emotional and otherwise, inflicted on our military that served his folly, we cannot begin to talk about kindness. So I think his point is justifiable here. I mean, regardless how you feel, regardless about your political affiliations, beliefs, whatever, what we know as a fact that has been proven so far in 2019, and it has come out, that these things have occurred, and that at the heart of it, our own military, our US citizens were definitely, as he said, emotionally deeply scarred, doing his dirt, essentially, right? And so, I mean, kindness does not limit your ability to hold people accountable. Ellen then responds to this with silence. Surprise, surprise. But this is why I love the Hulk. This is why Mark Ruffalo was the most perfect Hulk. Senpai said, if anything, wouldn't this help bridge the gap of hatred everyone is trying to point out? You know, here's the thing. And again, this is my personal opinion, but I'm the host, so I get to give it. I don't hate George W. Bush. I think that we need to be really clear about the fact that hatred and kindness are two different things. You can be completely kind to a person and you can honor their humanity and you can leave space for them to be human and make mistakes and still hold them accountable when they commit atrocities or when they commit harm. I think that we need to be really mindful that you can love someone and still say, like, yo, the things that you're doing are not okay. And I think that's all she needed to say, right? Was like, I get it. I get that a lot of people are super upset. I get that a lot of people find him to have been problematic or find his presidency to have been incredibly harmful, both nationally and internationally. And, you know, I still consider him amongst my friends. Cool, that's it. But to use this tagline of like, oh, I ignore anything that, you know, anyone might have done because it's in the name of kindness. To me, that's a cop-out. Like, just own that you don't care. Like, that's it. So I don't know. I think that's an important distinction to make. Senpai, obviously, feel free to let me know if that's not meeting the mark, but that's how I feel. To me, that's actually being a good friend. I hold all my friends accountable. I love them, I support them, and I still let them know, like, yo, you fucked up. But in other news, speaking of fuck ups, so as we just said, I am from California. I am currently in the Bay Area, and most of the Bay Area is in the dark today. So PG&E announced that they're going to be cutting power for 1 to 5 days to prevent wildfires, because if y'all have watched the news at all in the last couple years, we've had some really, really bad wildfires. And in the Bay specifically, people are not happy about this and they're losing their minds. So it says Silicon Valley, we love dark mode on our apps. Put it everywhere. PG&E, dark mode, you say? Northern California, wait, this is not what we meant. Right, like literally this is not what we meant. So mind you, thankfully, obviously, I'm sitting at home. I still have power. I am not one of the millions of people that are stuck in the dark. And PG&E has announced that they actually don't really know when they're going to give us power back. It could be tonight at 10 p.m. It could be in 5 days. And this lovely tweet literally sums us up. PG&E, we're going to cut everyone's power off. Us. Who will it be? Who will be affected? PG&E. A lot of people. Us. For how long? PG&E. Maybe 1 day, maybe 5. Us. But will my power be cut off? PG&E. Maybe, maybe not. Us. What time? PG&E. maybe 4 a.m., maybe noon, maybe not at all. This is literally the most accurate tweet. They told us it would start Wednesday at 11 or Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Then it was Wednesday at 8 a.m. Then it was Wednesday at 4, and now it was started this morning. And so we just don't know. And people are buying water and acting like the apocalypse is coming. So it's interesting, but hopefully the purge doesn't happen and PG&E gives us light. That's mostly what I'm hoping for. Liz said, with flaky people is like, yes, that is exactly what it's like. But speaking of Liz, so if y'all don't know Liz, she is our resident news nerd, and I'm going to invite her to come on because we have a hot take that I think she just needs to lead because my brain is struggling wrapping around it.
You're not alone. Hi.
Okay.
All right. So
we know what's coming, and so that's why we're laughing.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, y'all. So let's get this picture up.
Let's first, I'm just going to let you know, we're going to talk about Trisha Paytas. She had a real big announcement that happened.
Okay, but I need answers. Who, what, why, where?
Let me break down the W's for you.
How?
Yes. So Trisha Paytas, for the fortunately uninitiated, is like a social media influencer. She's a dancer, singer, personality, adult entertainer, and a known internet troll as well. She went ahead and made a very interesting announcement.
And what did she say?
Shocked the internet by coming out as female to male trans. So she is saying that she is female to male transgender.
Okay. I personally do not have the bandwidth to even like get into gender politics or like why that's problematic or anything else, but we can definitely get into some trashy social media drama because let's be honest, I love watching other people be hot messes. It makes me feel far more normal.
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you a little more about Trish. So like I said, she's a known troll and she's posted some controversial videos, and they're generally followed within an hour by a weepy apology video that she, for some reason, always tends to film on the floor of her kitchen. And so she made headlines actually beyond the internet, beyond there. She was in Cosmo and a bunch of other huge national news outlets because she made about a 15-minute video where she claimed that she is male to female trans. And you can kind of see in the thumbnail above, this was the video thumbnail that she put up. The picture on the left is her normal sort of like glammed up look. And then on the right, she is technically dressed up as Zac Efron for another video. So she went ahead and she essentially cross-dressed for a day and felt very like comfortable, and she said she'd never felt more herself and a whole bunch of stuff like that. Sorry, it got a little darker. So yeah, it was about a 15-minute video.
So, I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't.
I know, I had a similar reaction. And so the internet freaked out, as it does, and she got backlash pretty much from every corner of the LGBTQI plus community was just coming for her, dragging her. So as you can see,
I feel like, first of all, yes to this tweet. Secondly, like, did she, I don't know, release an apology video from the floor of her kitchen?
Oh my gosh, how did you even know? Oh my God, it's like you can tell the future, because she did in fact post an apology video a full day after her original video, and she released the apology, and then she released yet another video entitled "I'm questioning," with the word questioning all in caps. So it's clear that Twitter came for her and told her, what she actually could more accurately be classified as, if we're trying to classify gender that way. Suppose questioning would be more accurate. So, and basically everybody's been saying she just used coming out as trans as clickbait, and she did it really close to National Coming Out Day, which is today. So she clearly capitalized on that momentum that she knew was coming the next day. So, you know, your girl Trisha knows how to get the clicks. She knows how to get the attention, but I really have to ask if the backlash was worth the views.
I mean, I'm going to say no.
I have to agree.
Like, just no. But I'm done talking about her now, if that's okay. But since you are here, don't go anywhere. We can't end without some actual nerd news.
Yeah.
Okay. So, other than 2 clicks from special, what do you have for us this week?
So, in a slightly, sadly, not anymore uplifting story, we're bringing you a tale of theft, meme theft. Yes. Ooh, scandalous. So, let me ask you something first.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a group of people and you're saying something, you said like the most hilarious comment and nobody heard you, and then your friend standing next to you says your comment slightly louder and they become like everyone's favorite comedian in the group?
All the time, and it makes me so mad. And I actually now I'm like, I literally just said that.
Yeah, like trademark, okay? That was mine. I said that. So basically, that feeling got a little too real for Jesse, aka his Twitter handle is GE_Spliff, when he saw this particular viral tweet of this younger kid getting into a he's just trying to stand up inside that toilet paper. It's whipping around, you know, he can't seem to get it. And he realized that he made that same video not too long ago. And we'll show you the original. This is Jesse's beautiful filmography. You dare challenge me? So, in my personal opinion,
way better.
I really like Jesse's too. So, in an amazing turn of events, we reached out to Jesse and he was like, hell yeah, I'll come on the show. So, we actually have Jesse. So, Jesse, if you want to go ahead and grab a spot for us.
Yay. Oh, and Senpai agrees with us. He thinks the second one is better. I agree. The second one
I totally agree. Everybody here's on your side, Jesse.
Everyone's on your side, Jesse.
Totally. So, we're just going to wait for his camera to load.
Give him a second.
Yeah, we'll just give him a second.
I wouldn't have even thought to do that.
Oh, actually,
on a fan.
Yeah, oh, totally. I think it's great. Oh my gosh. I think like whoever has this idea is the future.
It looks like Jesse might need to refresh real quick.
Yeah, I stepped you down, Jesse, so just go ahead and pop back in, grab that spot. While we're waiting for him, we can kind of just talk a little bit about like meme theft a little, because, you know, sometimes people say like, okay, so it's the internet, everything is communal. You can't steal a meme because nobody owns it.
Lies.
Oh, yeah, totally lies. Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Can you turn yourself the other way? Because
yeah.
Like,
there you go. Awesome. Hey. Okay. So,
first thing I gotta say though, in the video, that's my roommate. I filmed it.
Oh, you're whatever.
I had him do that. So.
Y'all are funny. That's the point, and you did it way better.
Yeah, ours was the best.
Heck yeah.
Way better.
And I won't say we were the first ones to ever do that, but we brought it back, and then people stole our shit. Cause like I did that when I was like 10, you know, but like it was never that cool.
Yeah, no, you took it to that next level.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually have a couple questions for you. So I think you kind of answered it, but what was your inspiration for this amazing video? What made you do it?
All right, well, me and my roommates, like that app TikTok was blowing up. So we're like, dude, everything on here kind of sucks. We're like, let's make like a funny video. And then me and my roommate made one. And then that was like his second video. Like it didn't go up on mine. And then we put it up on my roommate's TikTok and it got like 10 million views or whatever. And then everybody else started stealing the video. Like some girl posted it and said it was her video and she got like 20 million views. And I'm
wait, like the exact same video, the exact same one, or she recreated it?
No, people were stealing my video and said it was them.
Oh my
But,
gosh, that's so
didn't get
frustrating.
views on my shit. Everybody else got bad views, but
Yo,
it'd
And
be
you're
like
over
that.
here like, okay. Okay, well, that is so, oh, that's so frustrating.
how did you know though? Like, okay, so you're on TikTok, you don't get any views. You put it on, so you put on your homeboy's account who was standing at the set, like in the middle of the toilet paper. He gets like 10 mil. How did y'all then realize you're like, yo, our video is everywhere else and it's blowing up?
I got people are hitting me up every day for like, yo, like, and I got tagged in it a bunch. Like, I get people hitting me up on Facebook, Twitter, like everyone's like, oh, and then people try to recreate it, and I've yet to see. I give credit where it's due. Somebody made a really cool one, like I'm like, that's cool. Maybe shout me out or something, you know. But I'm not a hater. Like I'm not mad, you know. Everybody got to get theirs, but
Right.
I've yet to see a better one, you know.
No,
So have you reached out to any of the people that have jacked your actual video and reposted it?
So like I'm like, yeah, that's my video, and they'll just delete my comment.
oh no, that's so lame. So
I
mean, but at the end of the day, like they can't. I try to use social media and stuff like that to build my platform. Like I'm a sponsored skateboarder. I do like have to build me up. Like if somebody takes my stuff, they're not gonna be able to build their own personal. Like it's useless. They just have a video with 10 million views. It's not them. They don't even know us, so it does really nothing for them. But
I always say people can steal the recipe, but they can't steal your sauce.
Oh, that's a good one.
I got all the sauce. I got the cabinet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So you said you originally got, like, I just love to hear about that moment when you realized that it was going viral and like you realized that it was gonna be everywhere and everyone's stealing it, like that morning or like afternoon or whenever it was.
Well, we put it up at night and like it wasn't really doing nothing. But before we put it up, I specifically told my roommate, I was like, yo, this is gonna get like 2 million views.
Oh,
He
you
was
knew.
like, I don't think so. And I was like, nah, this is the one. And then we put it up at night, and then in the morning, he like woke me up and was like, dude, it's at 1 mil. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, I told you. Like, yeah, it didn't
Oh
really
my
go
gosh. So
up
what
as much.
made you think? What was like, well, how did you know? Like, how did you know that it was
When
going
I
to
was
be viral?
filming it, I knew. Because, like, you see where it's like the toilet paper's wrapping around him, like, it gives you like a vortex, like a holographic vibe. Like, it doesn't look real. I'm like, while I was filming it, I was like, this shit's crazy. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it just
I
looks
think
cool.
like it does just look
Sometimes you
cool.
just know. Also,
Yeah,
you're like, oh, I have gold here.
this is fun. And I think like the other video almost kind of shows off how hard it was to get your video right, like the first time you did it. So like the copying video shows how many times you like kept trying to do it.
We
Was
did our
it?
first try too, by the way. We just made
Oh, okay.
that video. We did it. I filmed it. It was like 3 takes because I wanted to get the music right. Like you could hear like the music build up like a video game. And that was the hardest part. Like I kept walking in and it was like the wrong time. But
I feel like, can I give you some unsolicited advice?
what's up?
I feel like you need to create like a meme video out of this where it's like when you see the original or something and like you just can't get it right or something like that, and like put your video and then like that
That would be pretty fun.
like isn't getting it right, and then you need to brand it because you have a brand, right? Like a skateboard brand. What is it called?
Well, I have my own like clothing company. It's called Geek Crew, but the biggest thing I'm working for is called One Gig. It's like a boutique skate shop downtown Boston. Like
So like brand it with whatever, like whether it's Ski Crew or like, you know, whatever. And like exactly like Giselle just said, just watermark it. That way, no matter when somebody steals it, you can't unwatermark a video.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, some can. There's like apps because like most watermarks are at like the top. Like even if you go into iMovie and you like put a video on iMovie and save it, it crops it a little bit and it'll take the bottom part of the video out.
That's why you have to watermark it behind the main content. So random, we can talk separately. And I create content all day long, and people steal my shit all day long. And I was like, I'm smarter than you. I will be.
I will be smarter than you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there is one other thing that we would love to get your take on, as far as like, clearly you made the original video and people reposting it, like blatantly reposting it as their content when it was not their content. That's clearly stolen. But what do you say to people who think that like memes are property of everyone and they're viral content, so like it doesn't really count as theft because it's creative and it's just your imagination?
I mean, it's like, it is 50-50. Like, even with clothing, like, because I'm into like fashion and designing clothes, a lot of things are not original. Like, most ideas come from something, but if you're gonna sit there and be like, this is my video, inspiration, or like give people credit, like, yo, I got this idea from them, like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you try to take something that isn't yours and say it's yours, that's stealing. That's like in the definition. Like, if it's not yours and you claim it is, there's no other way to really put it, you know?
No, and I think it's really awesome of you to be like, just credit me, it's fine. Everybody can have fun with this thing. Like, you know, it's a cool idea.
Like I said, I'm not a hater. I want everybody to get theirs, but I need mine too, you know?
Yeah.
Give me mine.
Yeah. So Anthony Davis did make a good point. So actually, social media in general is considered public domain, right? Like there's no privacy, blah, 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 blah. So yes, like legally that's true. But like as a content creator, I feel very strongly about this. Like I feel the same way as Jesse. If I say something or I do something or I make something and I've had people copy paste word for word, like you're a thief. It's not public domain. It's still my original content, right? It's still plagiarism. And, or if you're going to be inspired by it, like you can tag me, you know where you got it from.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
shout out to Weez for the inspiration, and then cool, go do the thing. Like great. But I mean, it literally is no different than me being an artist, painting something, putting it on a wall in a gallery. That's public domain. Somebody seeing it, taking a picture of it, making a digital rendering and being like, this is my painting. No, the fuck it isn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's so true.
Yeah,
and you know,
said it better than me.
Yeah.
She's like, I know.
I've been doing this a long time, Jesse. Don't worry about it.
Content creation is definitely like such a new like world and new universe. I'm sure we'll see like laws and stuff coming out and more controversy of like content theft and everything. But we really, really appreciate you coming out, Jesse, and like coming up and chatting with us about this amazing video. Obviously, all credit to Jesse. And if you have anything else you want to tell us about, any other brands you want to tell us about, anything like that?
Where can people find you?
Yeah.
Like your skateboard videos, how can they support you?
Well, my name is Jesse Gangware. That's like my Instagram. It's GANGEWERE. It's a crazy last name. But most of the crazy stuff I post is on Instagram. And like I said, it's Jesse_Gangware. But the store is called One Gig. We're downtown Boston, and it's kind of like a Supreme vibe. Like we sell $2,000 jackets every day. We're about to fly out to LA next week to meet with like agencies and stuff.
And I did check out this brand, and the clothing is really, really cool. I will say I almost dropped $50 on a beanie, so didn't do it.
Next time though, right?
Yeah, definitely. When I have $50 to spare, I'll be rocking the King beanie. It's really cool. You guys should check it out.
That's dope. Well, Jesse, when you do this next meme of like when you try to get it right but don't quite do it and it goes viral, you can come back and talk about that. Your redemption.
Yeah,
I got you.
Definitely, absolutely.
Y'all need to check out this video I posted the other day. Like this crackhead tried to stab my friend. Like it's another one I filmed. This crackhead tried to come up and stab my friend while we're skating, and like my friend hit him over the head with the skateboard, and it's like it's pretty crazy.
Oh my god, I actually have had
I thought that one was gonna go viral, but it didn't.
Oh my god, I'm surprised it didn't, honestly.
Is this on your Instagram?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram.
Okay, the people will go check it out.
Yeah, everybody, go look at that because that sounds amazing.
It was crazy. Obi got knocked out and like his teeth fell out. But like I said, he was a crackhead. He had like 9 lives. He got
Yeah,
knocked
crackheads
out.
have superhuman strength. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what drugs.
they're real
Literally,
life
that's what drugs
superheroes.
do.
That's the point, right?
Literally,
Crackheads
the
would
point
beat
of
up
drugs.
Batman.
Oh my god. Well, next time a video goes viral, fingers crossed no one steals it, and we'll have you on the show and you can talk about how amazing it is to be like the predictor of viral content.
That's me.
All right, Jesse, so
Obviously,
welcome
obviously,
to
I
everything
can't
you're
predict
working
right
on.
because I thought the last one was gonna go viral and it didn't.
Well,
It's like Gisela said, it still might.
yes,
Don't
it
make
still
yourself
might.
funny.
You never
And
know.
maybe it did. Maybe somebody took it and it's out there.
Okay, don't be bitter.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like that's facts. It could be though.
It is. It
That's
really could be.
true.
But you know what? When I see it now, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, this is Jesse's."
Yeah.
It's huge in Brazil.
Just-
It's so funny though. People on the internet are crazy because how I got the toilet paper like slightly viral from my page. It was on. I think that's how Liz seen it. I commented on somebody else's video. I was like, "This is the real video," and people got mad at me. They're like, "You're a hater." Like, who even knows if yours was the first? I'm like, me. I know.
Also, they're time stamped, aren't they?
yeah, right?
When you post them.
Go to
People are literally like getting mad, like, be nice, like it's the internet, like of course they're gonna steal it. I'm like, you're justifying stealing my shit. Like,
No. I knew I had
like,
to come to the original source of the video. I knew I wasn't going to mess around with the cheap imitation.
Yeah, we're bad and bougie around these parts.
No.
shout out to TikTok for that one though. It's really like because people were like, yo, that app's going crazy, like you guys would be good for it, and I was like, let's make this video.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, Jesse, thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you for coming on.
We got to wrap it up, but I really appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
yeah. Have a good night, ladies.
All right, you too. Bye.
Your next guest won't be as fun, but
You're
That's
allowed
true.
yet. So
Yeah, best for last.
we're done.
all right, y'all.
All right, Jesse.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me.
Oh,
No problem.
absolutely.
Bye. All right, y'all. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Get Viral. Please reach out to us directly if you have any tips of viral stories that you want us to cover or look into, or maybe even bring somebody on to talk about. You can email us at getviral@getvocal.com. Also, join us. I'm going to be hanging around for a little bit of an after show. We can talk. We can talk about this stuff. We can talk about other stuff. We can talk about other viral videos. Y'all will decide that, but I will be here. So for now, thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing you again on the next edition of Get Viral on Get Vocal. All right, y'all. Bye.